Starting live broadcast, it says. But we'll find out if that's actually the case. It is raining, pouring rain. And anytime it rains in Kentucky, apparently we lose all ability to um, tap. Okay, I see two people. This is a fun morning. This is a fun. Hi, Jacqueline. How are you this morning? All right, looks like all right, so, yeah, there we go. The numbers are starting to pop up on the live. But yeah, it's raining like crazy here. I don't know if it's raining where you're at. It's been raining the last couple days. We've had some floods and so on and so forth. None in my luckily none in my basement. Usually, if we have floods in the basement, that's due to frozen pipes or things like that. So, not external reasons. But I am coming to you live from the garage. Let me know if it's holding signal because I have no way of knowing that. So drop that in the comments. I have no way of knowing that from here. But it's already been quite an interesting morning, and therefore today's show is going to be quite interesting as well. Right? And so we'll dive into that here in just a second. But I do want to say good morning, good morning, right? Live from Glenn's garage. So I was going to go maybe for a walk outside, hopefully get a little bit better signal that way. But it's pouring rain, so we can't do that. So that's not an option. We were going live from my basement, and we were not able to hold a signal. So that's not an option. So now, and I couldn't go live just from sitting in the middle of my house because there are 7, 8 other people that are actually asleep at this time in the morning. And so option D, I believe this is, option E, D or E, one of those. Option D or E is right here from my garage, standing, talking to you behind the scenes. So, yeah, it is pouring buckets in Paris. Yes, that is a great way to describe it. So, do me a huge favor. Hopefully, Ramon is streaming the audio over into Clubhouse. If somebody could update me on that, make sure that we're okay there. Let me know if the signal is holding over on Facebook. Let me know about that. I need your help. And if those things are happening, then we will dive in and we will talk a little bit today. And well, yeah, we'll get through this together. That's the best part. Yes, Ramon says he's good. Okay, Mary Lynn says he's good. Okay, so check it out. Today is Wednesday, aka CMA Day, Carter Myers Automotive Group, January 4th, 2023. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. For those of you, okay, beautiful. You see me. Let's make sure we make the most of today, okay? So you see me on Facebook. That's great. That's amazing. I'm super happy to hear that. You see me on Facebook. We've got full signal. I'm glad to hear that. Do me a favor on Facebook, if you would, please. If you would, go ahead and tag some friends. I'm sure there's people that are looking for the feed that can't find it. And if you're on Clubhouse, click the link on the top of the screen. You might as well come join me because today is going to be unlike any other show we've ever done in this space. So I'm coming to you live from Lexington, Kentucky, where it's raining like crazy. And I'm coming to you live from my garage, all right? Now, my garage, to give you an idea of what this looks like right now, this is part of my garage anyway. And as you can see, it looks like the garage at a motorsports place, right? Because these are the quads. You can see each of my kid has a quad. So these are all the Lundy quads. This is what it looks like when you have a bunch of kids. All right. And then you've got this right here. This is Caroline's quad. Hers is a stroller. All right. And then you've got bicycles galore. That stuff over there in the plastic bags, that is our, there's some Goodwill stuff that's going out right there. We've been doing some purging here in the Lundy house, all right? So we've been doing some purging. Then you can see all the boxes, all of these boxes, all of those boxes are boxes for shipping planters. You can see I've got a couple lawn mowers over there. That's because we have 10 acres of land. You can see we've got remote control cars. We've got a bunch of remote control cars. I love RC cars, so we have a bunch of those over here. And on these quads, you'll notice that there are some individual boxes. What these are these are all planters that have been ordered in the last couple days. My wife set them outside to ship yesterday, and she set them outside to ship yesterday, and it rained like crazy. And so I believe the boxes protected the planters inside, but we had to bring those in yesterday so that they could dry out and be repackaged so that they can be sent to you guys. So as you can see, there's a couple dozen planters. One of those might be yours. There's a couple dozen planters that are hanging out right there getting ready to ship. All right, I'm glad you love the planter, Raquel. I do as well. So this is part of the basement, and then there is a extra area over here. This is Picky, normally our outside cat that is currently inside. We've got some cardboard boxes that are going to go out, and there's the full tour. All right, so that's the full tour of my basement, or of my garage, and that's how we're going to start today's show. Now, the reason I'm home and not at my studio is not a dog. That's a cat. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cat. The reason that I am home and not at the studio is this morning, due to the rain and whatnot, we had a power outage, and my phone died, and Glenn Lundy woke up at 5:12 a.m. today. I woke up at 5:12 a.m. Now, I normally wake up at 3:20 a.m. All right? So to wake up at 5:12 a.m., that is nearly 2 hours late. I woke up nearly 2 hours late today, which is crazy, right? Which is crazy. And so when I woke up, I'm like, okay, today's a little bit different. How we're going to work today is going to be a little bit different. And so we grabbed the planner, which is always step one. Grab the planner, write down the things that we're thankful for. And why do we do that? Well, we've got to ground ourselves. Yeah, I got a full another sleep cycle in. That's right. So we have to ground ourselves, right? And so I have an obligation, responsibility, a duty. I have an obligation, a responsibility, and a duty to show up every morning at 5:30. And I also have that obligation, responsibility, and duty to show up as the most inspired person in the room. And it is a place of gratitude that I've been given this gift to do this show 1,117 times over the last 4 years. Now, with that obligation, so it's not an option, right? It's not an option. It's not a choice. It's not anything, right? There's nothing that stands in the way. But we have to start every day with gratitude. I have to start every day with gratitude, because if I start the day with, oh crap, I woke up late, oh crap, I slept in, oh crap, and then I try to pop in with you guys and the stream doesn't work, the live is freezing up, the audio is whatever, Pastor Jeff is not able to jump in, we got to hit Ramon at the last second, all of those things, right? If I just jump into the world without setting a foundation of gratitude, then the response, obviously, the energetic response is going to be, this is chaos, this isn't working, this is frustrating, this is overwhelming, all of those things. And I'm in a very unique position, right? If you sleep in, most of the world would never know about it, right? You sleep in, you don't show up, you don't do any of those things, it's no big deal. Whereas I'm in a unique position. When Glenn sleeps in, there are literally thousands of people today that will know about it, right? And so instead of just rushing, which I could have jumped in the truck, zipped over to the studio super, super fast, been there on maybe a couple minutes late. I could have covered it up real quick, just done a little segment from my thing, and I could have phoned it in at 40%, right? I could have done that, and you would have never known. You would have never known the difference. Or I can be real and I can be raw with you, which is, I woke up at 5:12. I wrote down 10 things that I'm thankful for. You being one of them. This show being another one of them. A roof over my head that keeps me dry being another one of them. God's protection and God's plan for my life being another one of them. I wrote down gratitude that my kids are safe and that they're healthy and that we had a blast at Taco Tuesday last night at my mom's house. I wrote down that I'm thankful for my wife. And most excitingly, the thing that I'm looking forward today is I wrote down that I'm thankful that it's CMA Day, right? Because I absolutely love being with my Carter Myers Automotive people. And so we start every day with gratitude. Then I went ahead and went downstairs, and I was already downstairs, but I went ahead and set up the lighting, and I set up the computer, and set up all the things, and now here we are in my garage, filled with planters and quads and lawnmowers, which looks a little chaotic, but it's actually very systematic and very orderly. Thankfully, today. It's not always the case, but we just did a show on order yesterday, and even this garage is a part of it. So now here we are. So now here we stand, and I'm not even sure exactly what time it is right now. I think it's 6:10 or something like that. And this week, we've been in a series called Today I Begin a New Life, right? And the series spawned from it being a new year, 2023. And the series is also spawned from a scroll from this book called The Greatest Salesman in the World. And in that scroll, the very first scroll of that book is Today I Begin a New Life. And so we've talked about different components this week that you have to put in place in order to truly see transformation. Because a lot of times what ends up happening is we say, we want this to be a new year. This new year is going to be, everything's going to change. And what ends up happening is time goes by, right? January becomes February. February becomes March. March becomes May. May becomes July. July becomes November. Next thing you know, you're putting up the Christmas tree again. And another year goes around. And you notice that you're in the same pain that you were in the year before. And so what I wanted to do for you this year is I wanted to make sure that you had the roadmap of the things that you have to put in place in order to seek and reveal true transformation. Because the last thing I want for you is for you to be in the same pain twice. The great Eric Thomas once said, he said, if you're going to be in pain, make sure you get a reward from it. If you're going to be in pain anyway, make sure you get a reward from it. Make sure it's worth it, right? It's like going to the gym. You can go to the gym, you can phone it in, you can lift light weights, you can say you showed up, you can post the selfie, but it's not going to create transformation in your body. You've got to go through it. You've got to actually get a reward from it to make it make sense. And so I don't want you to be in the same pain twice. And so we've been talking about what does transformation actually look like. And on Monday we talked about the importance and power of reflection. That the first thing we have to do is we have to look back at 2022. We have to take the time and we have to say, okay, what did we do right? What did we do wrong? What do we need to stop and what do we need to start? right? What do we need to stop and what do we need to start? What did we accomplish in 2022? What goals did we write down in 2022 that we didn't accomplish? What resolutions did we make that we didn't keep? We have to get self-aware. We have to look in the mirror and we have to be honest. We have to say, here's the boxes we checked and here's the ones we didn't. Now, through reflection, once we take the time to reflect, right? Reflect. Once we take the time to reflect, now we have the awareness required to move forward. Then on Tuesday, we talked about in order to truly receive transformation, that we have to get things in order. That an organized room, an organized house, an organized garage, even though it looks chaotic, it's very organized. An organized garage, an orderly fashion, an orderly process, an organized system is required in order for us to find true transformation. This is why, even with a 5:12 a.m. wake up, a 2-hour late wake up, this is why we sit down, I sit down, and write down 10 things I'm grateful for. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to my kids. I'm not talking to my wife. I'm not talking to CMA. I'm not talking to nobody until I've written down the things that I'm grateful for. It's just never going to happen. It's the system. It's the order that is required in order to foundationally be able to stand before you as the best version of me that I can possibly be. So see, step 1 was reflection. Step 2 is getting things in order. Step 3, which we were going to go into depth with this full production about today. Maybe I redo it again tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what God puts on my heart. But step 3 is understanding the physical aspects of transformation. That an orderly mind, or that a good mind, is a terrible thing to waste on an unhealthy body, right? A healthy mind is a terrible thing to waste on an unhealthy body. You see, part of living this 800% lifestyle, this 800% that I've got tattooed on my arm, it's this well-rounded thing where we look at 7 different areas of our life. We look at our faith, we look at our fitness, we look at our finances, we look at our family, we look at our friends, we look at our careers, and ultimately we look at ourselves. And I know a lot of people in my space. I know a lot of people that have powerful minds. I know a lot of people that aren't afraid to pick up a book. I know a lot of people that'll go to the conferences, go to the seminars, go to the webinars, listen to the podcast. I know a lot of people that will fill their minds with all the powerful information that exists in the world in 2023, but they won't get up and go for a walk. I know a lot of people who will get motivated, who get inspired, who will gain all sorts of aspects of wisdom, but they haven't stepped foot in the gym in decades. I know people who are so strong and powerful mentally. They're strong and powerful from a stage. They're strong and powerful in their words. They're strong and powerful when they write, but they can't stand to look at themselves in the mirror. Or they don't have enough air in their lungs to be strong and powerful when their little kids say, "Pick me up, Daddy." I know a lot of people that will tell you, admittedly, face to face, that health is always last on their list. That they're busy taking care of the kids, taking care of their spouse, taking care of their position at work, taking care of all of the things, but they're not taking the time to take care of themselves. And I'm here to tell you, my guy, Jim Carrey, Jim Carrey said it best. He was in an interview with Oprah Winfrey. and they were talking about manifestation and transformation. He was telling a story of how he wrote a check for $10 million when he was broke, sleeping in his car. He wrote a check for $10 million and he put it in his wallet, and it got crinkled and it got old and it got faded and it got dirty and all those things over time. And ultimately, fast forward, he ended up getting a real check for $10 million from Dumb and Dumber. And Oprah said, when he told this story, Oprah said, well, yeah, it's because you put in the work, right? You didn't just stick the check in your wallet. And Jim Carrey said, yeah, you can't just dream it and then sit on the couch and eat a sandwich. You see, if you want to manifest change and transformation in your life, I'm here to tell you right now, you can't just envision it, dream it, read about it, plug it in your mind, and then sit on the couch and eat a sandwich. It takes deliberate, required physical action. Deliberate, required physical action. Now, I used to have this incredible metabolism, and I used to tell people I don't have to work out, I don't have to do all of those things. I used to make those same excuses, and it wasn't until I truly understood this aspect, how a healthy body attributes to the ability to take a healthy mind and truly create the dreams and the visions that you have in your life, right? I didn't understand the connection between those things. But now that I understand the connection between those things, I had to put a couple systems in place in order to hold myself accountable to taking care of me. Because it's very easy for me. It's very easy to me to say, hey, I don't like to work out. It's very easy for me to say, well, you know, my knees were hurting, so I can't run. It's very easy for me to say, well, I don't have the time to go to the gym. Are you kidding me? I've got 7 babies that I'm raising in this house. I have 12 employees that are counting on me. I have my own company. I have all of these things that I have to take care of. I don't have time to go to the gym. It's very easy to lay into that excuse. And a lot of people would agree with me. They'd say, yeah, dude, you ain't got the time. I totally freaking get it, man. And that's bull. And so I had to put some systems in place. I'll share a couple of those systems with you. All right, the first thing I had to put in place, the only thing that works for me when it comes to working out, the only thing that works for me is I have to have someone to hold me accountable. I just simply won't do it by myself. Whoa, that was weird. I don't know where that came from. I won't do it. I won't do it by myself. Why is it telling me to open the Alexa app? In my head, what the heck is going on? Is there like a ghost in here or something? All of a sudden, in my headphones, it keeps saying, open the, oh, what's up, Roy Gardner? Roy's my guy. Yeah, all of a sudden, it's talking about that. All right, but I have to have someone to hold me accountable. All right, so right now, we've got a group of guys. They are all younger than me. They are all stronger than me. They are all physically, their physical attributes. They got the 16-inch biceps and all of these things, right? But my accountability group, Malcolm, Troy, Hoel, my accountability group will razz me, will give me all kinds of grief, will challenge me, all of those things if I don't show up to work out, right? Having people in your corner that are in the place you want to be, that have the keys, right? I call that having the keys, right? They are behind the doors that you want to go through. They have the keys. So having those people in place is step one of incredible importance. All right, now I'm just thinking all these people that are popping in now that Roy Gardner just popped in here. He's got to be like, what is Glenn doing? Standing in his garage at whatever time it is in the morning. It's got to look hilarious. So it's a whole nother story. You're going to have to go back if you want to know why I'm standing here. All right. Now, having people in place that are going to hold you accountable is incredibly important. And yeah, Rory, it's a whole deal, bro. It's a whole deal. All right. So that's step one. Now, listen. I made a post on Facebook last night. I made a post on Facebook last night because there was a opportunity to speak for a corporation, and they reached out and they said that they are not going to go with me as a keynote speaker due to my association was the word they used, due to my Cardone, a known Scientologist. So they told me. And so they thought I was dynamic. They thought I'd be a great speaker, #1 speaker in America. But because of my association with Grant Cardone, a known Scientologist, I'm not able to go speak. That was weird. It paused on me. I'm not able to go speak because of a known association. And I know that old me would have been upset, depleted, frustrated, argumentative, all of those things, right? But that wasn't the case. Instead, my response, like my mental response was, that's amazing. That is amazing that I am associated with a billionaire. That when people look at me, they associate me with a billionaire, a guy who's worked his freaking tail off, a guy who I've seen from selling VHS tapes out of the trunk of his car to flying around in private jets and private helicopters with a massive house over in Malibu, right? Like, it excited me that they made that association. Totally excited me. And I share that with you because the same becomes true. With the people that you choose to hold you accountable, you will become guilty by association. So see, I surround myself by athletic people. I surround myself by people that are in the gym, that are getting it. I surround myself with the people that understand that it's a waste to have a healthy mind but not a healthy body. You see, guilty by association. So step one is you got to get yourself around the people that are going to hold you accountable, the people that have the keys, that are inside the rooms that you want to go into, because it's only a matter of time. Like Denzel Washington said, you hang around the barber shop long enough, you're bound to get a haircut. So step one is associations. Get around people that are going to hold you accountable. All right. Step two, when you're a person like me that doesn't necessarily enjoy working out, that doesn't like taking care of the physical, it's not my favorite thing. It's not on my list of things where I'm like, woohoo, I'm not that person. I'm not like, woohoo, I'm so excited. I get to work out today, right? So the second thing that we have to do is we have to do a chain link connection. A chain link connection. What does a chain link connection look like? There are things in your life that you currently do regularly, that you already do on automatic, that you already do that's already a habit, right? And so Jim Quick, if you've ever read his book Limitless, Jim Quick is a memory master. The dude is absolutely incredible, right? And Jim, we're actually going to be studying his book, I think, in April. Jim Quick talks about these chain links, right? When we're wanting to remember things, we can link them together in our brain with things that we already know and remember, so that we can then remember more. Like, for example, if I want to remember somebody's name, right? If your name is Rory, right? Your name is Rory, we're going to use that name. I can look at a physical aspect of Rory that I do recognize, or something that I know about Rory. Like, Rory's a comedian. He's super funny, and he's got like this guitar, and he plays music and tells jokes at the same time, and he just cracks people up, right? The dude's ridiculous. And so what I can do is I can chain link together the visual image of his guitar, right, of his guitar and making people laugh, I can connect that to the word Rory somehow. So I think Rory, when I see the word Rory, I think like roaring lion, right? That there's a roaring lion, right? And he's got this guitar, and the lion is playing the guitar, or he's making people laugh. People are roaring lion, and because people are laughing at the roaring lion, that's what's making him roar more, is he's mad because people are laughing at him, right? So I can chain those together. A roaring lion, Rory, guitar, all of those things, right? So now that picture, you guys are going to remember Rory's name forever now, because I just planted that picture in your brain. Well, we want to make the same sort of chain link connection with working out to something that we already do. So I want you to think, thanks Bella, I want you to think, drop it in the comments, what is something that you do every single morning? Every single morning, every single time. What is it? There's something that you do every single morning, consistently, no matter what. You don't even think about it. Maybe it's I drink a cup of coffee every single morning. Maybe it's I check my bank account every single morning. Maybe it's I write down my gratitude, which is what it is for me, right? I do that every single morning. What is it for you that you do every single morning? And now coffee. Leisha Watts. She's like, okay, I drink a cup of coffee every single morning. Don Sankey works out every single morning, right? So we're not going to solve that problem for you, right? Bella Rigby says she thanks God as soon as she wakes up every single morning, all right? So we're going to find the consistent thing that we do every single morning, and then we're going to find a way to connect this idea of taking care of the physical. We're going to connect that to that. Right? So if every single morning you drink a cup of coffee, every single morning you drink a cup of coffee, that's your thing, you do it every single time, right? Then I want you to connect, right? You're going to chain link, and you're going to say, when I drink a cup of coffee, I then put on my running shoes. When I drink a cup of coffee, I then message my accountability partner and let them know that I am on my way to the gym. When I drink my cup of coffee, while drinking my cup of coffee, I watch a motivational video about fitness that is going to show me exactly which exercise I'm going to do today. Do you see what I'm saying? We make a chain link connection from a current habit. We make a chain link connection to the new habit. So now every time you do that, just like every time I say, what was that guy's name that I was talking about earlier? Oh, the lion playing a guitar, right? The roaring lion, right? Playing a guitar. Once we make that connection, it's there. It's there on a subconscious level. And once we make the chain link, we start creating the habit that ultimately is going to get us the result. That's ultimately, yeah, that's right, Rory, Rick. That's ultimately going to get us the result. That is going to get us the transformation. Make sense? So listen, I don't know what time it is. I'm probably running out of time. Today has been an interesting morning, to say the least. It has been an interesting morning, to say the least. As soon as I pop off of here, we're going to go right back to our chain link system. Every morning, we follow the same process. And every once in a while, there'll be a little kink in the chain, like there was this morning. Every once in a while, there'll be a little kink in the chain. But ultimately, all of the aspects, mind, body, and spirit, that need to be attacked every single morning will be attacked every single morning. It'll happen today. It happened yesterday. It'll happen again tomorrow. And so we're going to continue this conversation tomorrow on exactly what it looks like to create that transformation in your life, so you're not in the same pain twice. Because see, here's what I believe. I believe that you and I are children of God, the God of the universe. And that God made you and I to be the best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be. Not an average version or below average version or above average, but the absolute best version of ourselves that we can possibly be. And that's going to require you to tap into all three aspects of yourself: mind, body, and spirit. A healthy mind on an unhealthy body is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to waste. All right. Thanks for hanging with me this morning. I appreciate you. If you're watching this later on replay, yeah, there's a lot going on today. There is a lot going on today. But I love you. I do. If nobody's told you yet today, I want to be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. Go out there. Have an incredible day. Take care of the physical. Get started. Get moving. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. So get rocking and rolling. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We'll do it all over again, hopefully from my studio. And I'll see you then.